Yeah, hello students. My name is Munish Gupta, and today we are gonna solve the Cambridge IGCSE Paper 4 from extended version, and code number is 058042, Paper 4. Okay, let us see the first question. Write the number 7.25 million in figures. So we have been given 2.75 million, and we need to write this in figures. So one thing you need to understand that 1 million means 1 and 6 zeros behind. So whenever you are having something in millions and you need to convert into figures, so what you need to simply do, you need to multiply it with 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because it is 2.75, we'll take the decimal out and we have 100 because there are two decimal places. So 2 and 2 get cancelled. We get 275. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is going to be the answer. So I'll be discussing the concepts. It may be taking a little longer time. So that is important. The next problem. ABC is a right angle triangle. ABC is, we are talking about the full larger triangle, and ADB and DCE are straight lines. So these are the straight lines. This one and this one are the straight lines which have been given here. What we need to do? We need to find out the value of x and value of y. So there are two ways to solve the problem. The first thing is, look here. When we have a straight line, the sum of angles on a straight line is always equals to 180 degree. So here we can find the value of x. So we'll write x degree plus 74 degree equals to 180 degree. When you are solving geometrical problems, try to write the reasons behind. So sum of angles on the line. So if you take 74 on the other side, what you are gonna get? So x comes out to be comes out to be 174 degree. Sorry, 106 degree. That is gonna be the value of x. So whatever you are gonna get here, always try to write it on the diagram. So you may apply the link in the further problem if it is useful. So hence it is 106 degree. Now we are looking for the value of y. Try to find it out that this is a straight line. If this is a straight line, the sum of two angles, y and let us assume this is angle 1. Y and angle 1, they lie on a straight line. Hence, we can find out, if we have the value of 1, we can find out the value of y. So 1 lies in this triangle, if you see carefully. In this triangle, we are having one angle 90 degree, one is 74 degree, and one could be found because the sum of angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree. So write the name in triangle ABC. What we can have? Angle A, which is 90 degree, because a box had been made here. 74 degree plus angle 1, the smaller one, equals to 180 degree. And if we solve it, 1 plus 90 plus 74, you are going to get 164 degree equals to 180. And 1 comes out to be 180. This is positive here. It will go on the other side and we'll subtract it. You use the calculator and you will get the value as 16 degree. We got one angle is equal to 16 degree, and 1 plus y also angle 1 plus y degree equals to 180 degree, because reasons had already been written here, and 1 is 16 degree and y degree 180 degree, and y comes out to be, if you take 16 on the other side, we'll subtract 16 and it will give us 164. That would be considered the answer. I belong to India, and our manual calculation is quite good. So sometimes where is not a long division of a big numbers, I always try to solve it manually. You can use the calculator where is appropriate according to your work. Okay, let us see further. Calculate 10 minus 7 by 8 raised to power 3 into multiplied by 2. So what is happening here? When there is addition, subtraction, that is the one group, and the second group is multiply or divide. So if you have members from these groups, then you need to use always BIDMAS, or some it says as BEDMAS. So B means bracket, E means exponent, I means index. So exponent and index, they both lead us to the power. So first of all, we need to solve the power. Then after power, we need to do the multiply thing. And after multiply, we need to do the subtraction thing. So 10 minus 7 by 8 whole cube multiplied by 2. So 10, 7 by 8 cube. 7 cube is 343. 8 cube is 512 multiplied by 2. If you solve it further, you plug in the calculator, or you can say that 2 ones are and 256 are. So 10 minus 343 over 256. Now you take the LCM and you calculate it. I will bring the calculator here because it is going to take a little longer time. 10 minus fraction 343 in the numerator, and in the denominator we are having 256. So it comes out to be 2217 over 256, 2217 over 256. And if we'll see in the decimals, it comes out to be 8.66, because we need to write our answer up to 1 decimal place. So we always find the answer up to 2 decimal place and round off this extra digit. If this digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we simply remove it. If this digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we remove it and add 1 to preceding digit. So I'm trying to make proper notes for yourself. You can use appropriately when it is required. So this is 8.7, and that is going to be your answer. So here what we did, we opened the power here. So we use the index, this one, and after that we use the multiply thing. Here we did the subtraction. So this question had been solved all the way with the help of BOD-MAS or BIDMAS. Let us see question number 4 now. This question is very, very important, and it usually asked in almost all of the exams. So you need to practice this kind of questions. Exchange rate between pounds and dollars is 1 pound is equal to $1.28. So what do we have here? 1 pound is equal to $1.28, and 1 pound is equal to 115 rupees. We have a computer which is costing us $576, and we need to find the cost in rupees. Hence, we need to convert the logically dollars to rupees. So the pound doesn't have any work here. So 1 pound is equals to 115 rupees. So wherever 1 pound is written, we can write the equivalent, which is 115. So rupees 115 is equals to $1.28. Because we are having $576, so what we'll do here, we're going to find the value of $1 here. $1 means if we have value of $1, let us assume value of $1 is, let us assume 80 rupees, then value of $2. What we'll do, we multiply by 2 here, we multiply by 2 here, and value of $2 is going to be 160. So this is going to be easy for us. So what we do here, we divide by 1.28 to make 1 on the other side. So what we are going to have, rupees 115 upon 1.28, that is the value of $1. Now we have the value of $1, and total dollars we have 576. Therefore, cost of computer in rupees is equals to 576, that is total dollars, and value of $1 in rupees is 115 over 1.28. Let us bring the calculator here. So we are having 576 multiplied by 115, that is the numerator in total, and we are going to divide it by 1.28. divide by 1.28, and we are gonna get here the answer is rupees 51,51750. That is your answer. So I hope I was able to solve your problem, and let us see the question number 5. Okay, this is an interesting problem, and in my class also the students always stuck in this kind of problem. So I have devised some formula here. I'll share with you, and every time it is gonna work in a wonderful manner. The first thing, if you are moving from one country to other country, of course there is gonna be some sort of time change, because some countries lie in the east, some lie in the middle, some lies in the west. This is a time change. So what we need to do, first of all, find the flight landing time. Okay, flight landing time, and do not consider this thing, whether the country is ahead or backwards in the terms of time. Do not consider this. That will consider it at the end. Okay, so let us see. Now find the flight landing time. Landing time means the flight starts at 11:50 and it takes this much of time. If you add these two, you'll be having the flight landing time with respect to Mumbai. Okay, second thing, look out the landing place. Landing place. If landing place is behind, then what we need to do? We need to subtract the time difference between the countries. If the landing place is ahead, then we need to add the time difference. That is the only job which we have to perform here. So for an example, if a flight starts at 5, let us assume, and it takes, let us assume, 2 hours. So the landing time is, let us assume, 7 a.m. Okay, the landing time is 7 a.m. Let us assume the country is where the flight is landing. The country is 1 hour behind. If we take 1 hour behind, because behind means subtraction, we'll subtract that 1 here, and our new country time would be 6 a.m. So that is how this problem can be solved. And let us see. What is the departure time? Departure time is 11:50, and flight time, that is 16 hour 18 minutes. Okay, so this is 11 hour 50 minutes, this is 16 hour 18 minutes. Therefore, landing time with respect to Mumbai, that is 11:50 plus 16 and 18. So we will add this time, and 8, 6, 6 plus 1, 7, and 1 plus 1, 2. Because we cannot write 68 minutes, so 68 minutes is equals to 60 minute plus 8 minute, and 60 minute could be considered as 1 hour plus 8 minute. So what we'll do, we borrow the 60 minutes from here and give 60 minute here. It means it is gonna be 28 hours and 8. So this is the time where the flight is gonna land in New York with respect to Mumbai. So now the landing place is New York and Mumbai is ahead. The flight is taking off from Mumbai where the flight is landing. If Mumbai is ahead, it means New York is gonna be, the time is gonna be backwards. So back time, it means we need to do the subtraction thing here. So what we'll do here, see carefully. What is the time difference here? 10.5 hours. So that was in total time. Up 10.5 hour means 10 hour 30 minutes, because here in the clock we are writing here time in minutes. So 10 hour 30 minutes, and now we are going to subtract it. You need to be very careful here. This portion always should be greater than this portion, then only you can subtract. So hence what we need to do, we need to borrow 1 hour from here. So if we borrow 1 hour here, we'll be left with 27 hours. And if we give 1 hour here, that is going to be 68. 60 minutes would be added here. So, and we need to subtract this 10 hour 30 minutes. And what we're going to get here? 38. And this is 7. And 2 minus 1, 17. So this is the time in 24-hour clock. And if you see in the like 12-hour clock, it is going to be 5:38 p.m. And I hope that should be the answer. You need to remember this, learn this in any way. This is very, very important, and it will remove all of your doubts. And you need to remember that when 10.5 hour is we are talking about, here we are writing hours and minutes. So you need to convert that 0.5 hours into minutes, and that is going to be 30 minutes. You need to be very careful on this. Okay, so this was the problem number 5. Let us go to problem number 6, or second part of this problem. So total flight time was 16 hours 18 minutes. Okay. So flight time 16 hours 18 minutes. So what we have been asked here, the plane flies a distance of 12,800 kilometer and find the average speed of the plane kilometer per hour. So we know that total distance is given as 12,800 kilometer. Total time is given for the flight is 16 hours 18 minutes. See, since the answer required kilometer per hour, so we do not need these minutes. What we need to do? 16 hour as it is, and when we are converting minute to hour, what we do? We divide by 60. When we have smaller unit in hand, we divide by 60. So hence 18 by 60, and if we divide it by 18 by 60, 18 divided by 60. 18 divided by 60. So what is going to give us? It is going to 0.3 hours. So this is 16 plus 0.3. It comes out to be 16.3 hours. That is the total time taken, and total distance is given. So therefore, average speed is equal to total distance traveled upon total time taken. Sometimes the student get confused here in speed, distance, time questions. Always remember this triangle and divide this triangle into these 3 sections. In the top section, write distance. Here write speed and time. Whatever you are going to find, hide that thing, and the other will tell you whether they are going to be divided or multiplied. So if you are going to find the speed, hide speed here, and then what are you left with? Distance upon time. So if you divide distance upon time, 12,800 divide by 16.3, and it is going to give us 785.276. 785.276. And if you give your answer up to 2 decimal places, let us assume, so 785.2, because last digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of these. So hence we'll remove this and add 1 to the previous one, kilometer per hour. We need to look out in the problem whether they are asking the question up to 3 significant figures, whether 2 decimal place, 1 decimal place. You need to read the question carefully. So that was our problem number 5. Let us go to problem number 6. A bag contains yellow counters, blue counters, and red counters. Okay. Asif take, so we are having here yellow, blue, and red. Asif takes a counter at random from the bag. The probability that he takes a yellow counter is 27%. So probability of yellow counter is 27%. Here it is given in percent, here it is given in fraction. So that is like up to us, that let us make it in the fraction itself. So probability of blue counter is 3/5. Now find the probability of taking a red count. So in an event when three things are happening, so probability of all the events in an experiment, probability of all the events, whatever the number of events, that is always equals to 1. I'll give you an example. If you are gonna throw a dice, let us roll a dice, you're playing a Ludo or any game. So 1 is 1 out of 6. So probability of getting 1 is 1 by 6. Probability of getting 2, 2 is 1 number out of 6. So again 1 by 6. Probability of getting 3, 3 is 1 number out of 6. And similarly 4 and similarly 5 and similarly 6. So if you add all, what are you gonna get here? That is 1. It means probability of all the events in an experiment is gonna be 1. So what we say that here, probability of yellow plus probability of blue plus probability of red counter is equals to 1. Yellow's value is 27 by 100. Blue's value is 3 by 5. And probability of red we are looking for. So I'm writing a little more because I want you guys to understand the concept behind. So when you have the concept in your head, it is not going to take much of the time. Okay. So you can use the video according to your own preference. And let us see what happens here. So we are having 1 minus fraction 27 over 100 and minus fraction that goes by 3 by 5. Okay, and let us put it. It is going to be 13 by 100, or you can write it as 0.13. It really up to you because both answers are accepted all the way. That is going to be your answer. Okay, let us see the next problem. After 6, we'll be having problem number 7. That is quite easy peasy problem. So p square equals to r square minus 8 times t. We have been given some values. R had been given here, t had been given here. We are going to find the value of p. Since we are having a p square, it means we are having a quadratic here. Whenever we are having quadratic here, we always are expecting two values as answer. For an example, if you are having x square equal to, let us assume 100, then x satisfies positive 10 and x satisfies minus 10 also. 10 square is 100 and minus 10 square is also 100. So how you combine these two answers? We'll write it as plus minus 10 to save the time and space. Okay, so that is the same thing which we are going to do here. So p square equals to, what is the value of r? Whenever you are plugging negative value anywhere, when you are plugging negative value anywhere, you need to keep it in the bracket. Okay. So in general sense, whatever you are plugging here, whether it is positive or negative, I always prefer to solve that value by putting in the bracket. Okay. So negative 15 square, you can use the calculator. I remember those values, and that is going to be minus 56. So now we need to subtract 225 minus 56. So we got 169. That is the value of p square, and square goes on the other side. It becomes the square root of 169, and we always put plus and minus sign. Everybody knows that square root of 169 is 13. 13 square is 169. So value of p is going to be positive or minus negative 13. So you need to write both the signs here. If the problem is saying that find the value of positive p, then we'll write here positive 13 only. Negative p, then we write negative only. Okay. Now in the next problem, what we are going to do, rearrange p square equal to r square minus 80 to make t as the subject. So whenever we are making the subject, what we do, we need to keep the t terms on same side. So there is only one t term. So I do not like negative terms. So what I'm gonna do, I'll bring minus 80 here. I'll solve it by two ways. Okay, let us see carefully one by one. So some of you guys may be solving in a different way. So that is the first method. So method number 1, p square. We take r square on the other side. So r square is positive here. It will go and it will change its sign negative. And on the here we are left with minus 8t. So since we are going to make t as subject, so t is being multiplied by minus 8. And what is the inverse operation of minus 8? That is dividing. So p square minus r square upon minus 8, that is equals to t. And we do not represent answer when negative is written in the denominator. So what we'll do, we'll transpose this negative to the numerator. And when negative goes to the numerator, it multiplies with all of the terms of the numerator. Okay, numerator means a one single value. Whatever is here, negative number, that is going to multiply it with all of the numerator. Or you can understand the concept that we are multiplying minus 1 and minus 1 in the numerator and denominator. That is the fundamental concept. So minus p square plus r square upon 8, that is going to be t. That is the first way of writing. And if you want to see the second way, I always prefer the t term should be a positive term. What I'll do, I'll take the a minus 8t on the other side. So this is going to be positive and bring the p square here. You understand? So what I did here, I bring that negative 8t here and brought that p square here. So now that had been arranged and t terms is positive term. Now r square minus p square by 8, and both answers are same answers. You can choose how it is convenient to you. Okay, let us see the next problem, problem number 8. Okay, a prism has 6 planes of symmetry. 6 planes of symmetry means if you are having like this 3-dimensional diagram and you are gonna cut it. So if you cut it like this, let us assume you cut it like this. So this is called the plane where it could be cut, or you cut it like this. Like this. I'm trying to make the diagram if you can understand. Okay, so this is called the plane of cutting. So prism has 6 planes of symmetry. Okay, a cross section of prism is a regular polygon. Write down the name of the regular polygon. So since here 1 in the case of a regular polygon. In the regular polygon, if it has, let us assume 4 sides. 4 sides regular polygon is considered as square. So if it has 4 sides, then it has 4 lines of symmetry. If it has 5 sides, then it has 5 lines of symmetry. It has pentagon, for an example. If it has 10 lines, then 10 lines of symmetry. A regular polygon, for an example, if it has n sides, then it has n lines of symmetry. That is generally said. Okay, so it has 6 plane of symmetry in 3-dimensional thing. So if it has 6 planes of symmetry, it means it has 6 plane of symmetry. It means it has 6 lines. The 2-dimensional figure has 6 lines of symmetry here. And 6 lines of symmetry, it means the name of the regular polygon is gonna be the hexagon. You have to like understand by making this 3-dimensional diagram, then only you can able to think on this problem. Okay, let us see. Now it's a big question. A tank is in the shape of, this question belongs to mensuration, or you can say volume surface area. So a tank is in the shape of a sphere and radius of the sphere is 40 centimeter. Show that capacity of the tank is 280 liters, correct to nearest liter. What do you need to do? Capacity means how much substance it can hold. How much substance it can hold. It can hold means when we are filling it. So when we are talking about a thing which is a container which is going to be filled, how much substance it can be filled in this, and then we always talk about volume. And when we talk about how to paint something, or you can say you are making boxes with you, you are gonna wrap it for some birthday gift, for an example. When you're talking about the walls and the surface of the wall, then we talk about the surface area. So here we are having a sphere, and volume of sphere, you will be given the formula sheet. So if you remember the formula at your own, then you will not be dependent on the formula sheet. So volume of full sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So first of all, we need to find the volume. Then we'll convert the volume into liters. Okay. So R is equals to 40 centimeter. So volume is 4 by 3, that is pi r cube. R is 40 raised to power 3. So let us bring the calculator now. It's a big calculation. So 4 by 3 and 4 is multiplied by pi, shift and pi, and further 4 is further multiplied by 40 cube. So I put in the bracket and put the power 3 here. Okay, let us see. So we got here 268 268,082 268,082 centimeter cube. That would be considered as the volume of that container. Now, if you have to convert centimeter cube into, we give the answer in liters. 7 centimeter cube into liters. You need to divide by 1000. You need to remember that if centimeter is a smaller thing, if you have the smaller thing in hand, which you are going to convert it, smaller thing in hand, it gives us the indication that we are going to divide by the converting value. If you have bigger thing in hand, then we are going to multiply. Since we have centimeter cube, we have a smaller value, hence we need to divide. So volume specifically in liters, that is going to be 268,082 divided by 1000, and if you divide it, you got 268.082, and we need to write the answer to the nearest liter. Hence 268 we have 0, so 0 doesn't have any impact here, so it is going to be 268 liters. That is going to be your answer. I hope I like trying to make you understand. Let us see the next part of this problem. A tank contains 268 liters of water, that we already solved. The water from the tank is emptied to a cylindrical container at the rate of 300 ml per second. So now what is the difference between these two statements? The difference between these two statements is this is in liters, this is in milliliters per second. Calculate the time taken for the tank to be completely emptied and give your answer in minutes, seconds, and correct your answer to the nearest second. That the last step will solve in the end. And let us first of all find the time. So here we are having 268 liters, here we have 300 ml. So we know that 1 liter, you seen the bottle of Coca-Cola or any other 1 liter water bottle, it is always equals to 1000 ml. So 268 liters means 268,000, that is ml. So that is the total volume we have. So what we are looking for, time to be emptied. So first of all, let us find the time in seconds. So we are having ml and we are having 300 ml per second. And because since it is per second, we are going to get here the time in seconds. So let us first find the time in seconds and we'll move further. So we are having 268,000 and divided by 300, and we got 893.33 seconds. Now we need to write answer in minutes and seconds. So what you're going to do now, this is a crucial step here. what are we going to do? We will convert these seconds into minutes. So to convert seconds to minute, always remember, I told you in the previous question also, when we have smaller quantity in hand, what we do? We divide. So if we want to convert it into the minutes, so 893.33, whatever it is, upon 60, and it would be converted into minutes. So 893.33 divide by 60. So this gives you 14 minutes and 0.88 minutes. So the answer is 14.888 minutes. So do not assume this is a second. This is a part of the minute, 0.8 minute. Okay. So what we are having here, 14 minutes plus 0.888 minutes. Now we'll convert this thing into seconds. So what is going to happen here? So 14 minute plus 0.888. Now we are going to convert minute to second. In hand quantity is big, hence we are going to multiply by 60. So 0.888 into 60. Okay, so we got here approximately 53.28 second. Now since we have to write to the nearest second, and after 53 we are having number 2 is written here, so hence it doesn't make any change here. So 14 minute and 53 seconds. That is the answer which we gonna get here. So there is another way on the calculator for an example. If you are having 1893.33 seconds and you want to convert it into the hours and minutes, let us assume 893, because we have to write the answer in minutes itself. So 893.333 divided by 60, and we got 16, see here, 14 minutes and 53 seconds. 14 minutes, 53 seconds and some value further. So that is also can be utilized. This like first, second, third, this button can be utilized for that. Okay. So that depends on how you have been taught. Let us move to the next problem. Okay. The diagram shows a rhombus. Diagram shows a rhombus. Rhombus is a quadrilateral and it's a parallelogram as well. So if it is a parallelogram and quadrilateral belongs to the parallelogram family, then it has all the properties which parallelogram and quadrilaterals they have. The very important properties for parallelogram family. Parallelogram family means all the rhombus, rectangle and square all belongs to the parallelogram family. The adjacent angles, the next to each angle, they always sum to 180 degree. Like angle A and angle B. If you have angle B and C, if you take these two angles, they will sum to 180 degree. If you take C and D, they will also sum to 180 degree and simultaneously with D also, A and D. So it means if you see this and this angle, they are consecutive angles, one after another. It means we have to make two simultaneous equations here and we need to solve them. So we know how to solve the equations. First of all, we need to use the geometry to make the simultaneous equations. So what do we need to do? A and D are co-interior or consecutive angles like this, and it means they will sum up to 180 degree. That's how we're gonna get our first equation. So we'll write here angle A plus angle D equals to 180 degree. We can write as co-interior angles. That is how the reasons are gonna be mentioned here. Co-interior angles. So A is minus 6x plus 9y and D is 2x plus 3y, and both gonna add up to 180 degree. Let us simplify that. Let us simplify x first. So this is minus 6x, this is plus 2x. We got minus 4x, 9 plus 3, that is gonna be 12y 180. So this equation is all we have even numbers here. And I think all the numbers can be divided by 4. We can make the equation shorter by dividing all of the terms by 4. Otherwise, you can keep it as it is with you. That is not a problem. And now we have to make another equation true. Let us find it out. We know that opposite angles of a parallelogram or a rhombus are equal. And what information had been given? That angle BCD is 117. So whatever the information had been given, that we have to copy here. So opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. Opposite means after A, we are having D, leave D, whatever we are left with here, that is C. So what we'll do here, angle A equals to angle C. So what is angle A? That is minus 6x plus 9y equals to 107 degrees. That is the property of the parallelogram family. So we are having here 4x 12y 180 and 6x 9y 117. And now we need to do the method of elimination, which is convenient to you, however you look at. So minus 4x plus 12y equals to 180 degree. And you can ignore the degrees here. That really is not required here. Doesn't matter. So what do you see here? 6 and 4. If you see 6 and 4, we need to make them both same. 6 and 4, the LCM of 4 and 6 is going to be 24. We need to make each of the x coefficient as 24. So if you want to make it 24, then what need to multiply here? You will multiply it by 6 and you will multiply it by 4. And this 6 and 4 has to be multiplied by all of the terms together in an equation. So what we're going to have here, 6 4s are 24, 6 12s are 72, and 6 into 180, that is going to be 1080 degree. Here we are going to multiply by 4. 4 6 are minus 24. 4 9s are, that is 36. You can use the calculator as well. And 4 into 117, 17 4s are 68. That gives us you 468 degree. Now we have to cancel it down. Before cancelling it down, we see the signs of both the terms is same. When the signs are same, they cannot be cancelled out. So hence we have to change the signs. So change means change, change, and change. And let us further simplify it. What are we going to get here now? 72 minus 36, and we'll carry the sign of bigger number. These two got cancelled here. So 36y, and we subtract here 1080 minus 468. We got 612, and y is going to be 612 divided by 36. So 612 divided by 36, and we got here y equals to 17. And we plug in the y equal to 17 in any of the equation. Let us assume we plug in y here. Okay. So let us put a line here, and minus 4. We write here actually to make you understand. Put y equal to 17 in equation 1. So minus 4x plus 12 times 17 equals to 180. And what is 12 times 17? 12 times 17. This gives you 204. So what will write here? Minus 4x 180 minus 204. Minus 4x is minus 24, and x comes out to be 6 degree. That is your answer. So hence what we have found here, that our x value is 6 and y value is 17, and both should be your answers. So here we use the concept of geometry. So if you like, for an example, you forgot the fundamental process, so go to the textbook and try to find it out. What are the fundamental concepts? So a plus d is 180 degree, and then minus 4x plus 12y, that is simplified value, that gives you 180 degree. After that, we saw that this value had been given, but this value had not been placed in the diagram. So whatever you the information is given, it's your duty, you place the information in the diagram as well. So opposite angles are equal, so we plug in here this second equation, and we solved both the equations by method of elimination, and we got these answers. Okay, so let us move to the next problem, what it says. Okay, this problem, this is a wonderful problem, and this is practical application of graphs. Okay, in these kind of problems, the students who did not opt for sciences, for an example, they are having commerce, accounts, and other subjects, so they get little like stuck in these kind of problems. They always say that, sir, we do not learn physics, so how do we going to solve? So these are the very basic and easy peasy concepts which you have learned in class 7 or class 8. The first thing here, I'll tell you the brief here. For an example, you are having distance time graph. There are two kind of graphs which could be given to you. Distance time graph. So here is time, x has always time, and let us assume here is distance, and in physics distance is generally denoted by small letter s. So let us have distance here. So in speed and distance and time graph, what we have, the first thing, the speed or velocity. Okay, the speed or velocity is always considered as distance over time, or we can say that change in distance upon change in time. The second thing, if we have speed time graph, change in distance, change in time means we are talking about change in distance, that is y2 minus y1, and change in time, that is x2 minus x1. Logically, we are trying to find the slope of distance time graph to get us speed. In the speed time graph, what we have, for an example, here it is time, here it is speed, it is denoted by small letter b, that gives us velocity. Okay, so we are having, let us assume this is a line which is like placed here using time and different kind of distances, speeds travel here. So this gives us, if you are looking for, if you divide speed and time, you get acceleration. Acceleration is speed divided by time, and it is generally known as, speed is change in speed divided by change in time, and change in speed means speed is always given at y-axis, so we are looking for y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. It means we are again looking for the slope or gradient of this speed time graph. That is the first part here. And the second part, if you are looking for distance traveled in speed time graph, distance is given by area under the curve. What portion you are looking for, that is very, very important. Okay, let us see here what it says. It says that this is y-axis, and this shows us speed meter per second, and it is denoted by capital letter V here. So there it is showing that the speed is 20 meter per second, and it is showing that the speed is V meter per second. And x-axis, this horizontal axis, shows us time. This shows us 48 second time had been passed here, and 65 seconds have been passed here. Okay, so now what we have to do, 65-second total journey time, and acceleration during first 48 seconds. That is very, very important. Do not consider all of the diagram. You may be asked problems in the parts also. And the acceleration of this part till 48 seconds. We are talking about this part, till this part only. The acceleration had been given 0.25 meter per second square. The acceleration is given as 0.25 0.25 meter per second square. What is acceleration? Acceleration is change in, I wrote here, change in speed with respect to change in time. So at 0 seconds, the speed was 20. And after at 48 seconds, the speed is v meter per second. So the final speed was v and initial speed was 20. And final time was 48 because we are considering 48 seconds only. And the initial time was 0. And that gives us, so I'm using this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if we calculate it, v minus 20 over 48 equal to 0.25. 48 is being divided here. If we turn up to the other side of the equation, then it will do the inverse operation and we have to do the multiplication here. Let us make a small, just a second, guys. Okay. So what we'll do, v minus 20 equals to 0.25 multiplied by 48. So v minus 20 equals to 0.25. 48 multiplied by 0.25, that is going to be 12. Yes, that is 12. And 20 is being subtracted here. It will go on the other side and we'll add 20 here. And we are going to get 32 meter per second v. That is the speed. And that is the same thing which we have to show here. So if you do not belong to physics, then you need to revise on these concepts. So make the proper notes as well. Let us see the next part. Okay, next part says, work out the total distance traveled during the 65 seconds. Total distance traveled during 65 seconds means we are going to start from 0 until 65. Since it is a, you need to remember, it is a speed time graph. Then distance is always area under the curve or area under the graph lines, whatever it is made according to the time. Since we have 65 seconds, hence we are going to take this. So what we have here, that is the point of discussion. We have this shape. We have this shape. So what is this shape? This shape is considered as trapezium. This is called as trapezium, or this is called as trapezoid as well, whatever you say. So the first part of this diagram is a trapezoid, and we need to find the area of the first part, and then we have to take the area of the second part as well. And second part is a triangle here. You can see very clearly here. This triangle. We have to take the area of this triangle as well. So the first of all, we need to have the formula revision for what we are going to use here. Let us see. Trapezium, the area, for an example, trapezium is made like this. These are two parallel lines. The vertical lines are always considered as parallel lines in graphs, and this is the distance between the parallel lines. So formula for the area of trapezium is half times P1 parallel 1 parallel 2 times distance between parallel line, that is considered as height. So distance between parallel lines, we say the distance traveled is equals to area trapezoid plus area of triangle. So area of trapezoid is given by half times P1 plus P2. So P1 is, this one can be considered as P1, that is 20 here. This one would be considered as P2, parallel line. What is the value of V we got in the previous part? That is 32. So it means 32 here. And what is the distance between them? That is height. That is from 0 we have till 48. This is the vertical, or you can say perpendicular distance between the parallel lines, that is 48. So multiplied by 48. So we got this done here. Now for this triangle, we have half into base into height. That is the standard formula which could be applied. Half into base into height. So what is the base? base is 65 minus 48 because we are looking for this part only. 65 minus 48. And what is the height of the triangle? This P2, and P2 is equals to 32. And let us simplify this now. So half times this gonna come out be 52 into 48, and plus we are having half 65 minus 48, that gives you 17 times 32. Or on the other hand, you can cancel out 2 with this 32 or 2 with this 48 simply, and we can still multiply it. Okay, now let us plug in the calculator. Half into 52 into 48 plus half multiplied by 17 multiplied by 32, and we got 1280 meters. Because the speed is meter per second, hence we got the answer in meters. And what the question is saying, give your answer in kilometers. So we know that 1 kilometer, equals to 1000 meters. Now what you have in your hand, you have meter. So meter to kilometer we have to transfer, convert, and we have smaller quantity in hand. If we have smaller, then we have to divide. So simply we divide by 1000, which comes out to be divide by 1000, and it comes out to be kilometer, and we got 1.28 kilometer. That is the total distance traveled by the object, whatever it is. So that is how the problem is solved. Try to make proper notes so that if you got your answer here incorrect, for an example, by making some error here, but if you have done good working here, the teacher, out of 3 questions, 3 marks, the teacher is going to give you, award you with 2 marks probably. Okay, so you need to show your proper working. Let us move to the next problem now. Next problem, this question belongs to algebra equations. Algebraic equations, or you can say that. So algebraic equations, what is the fundamental idea? Here in algebra, there are 2-3 ways to solve it out. I'll give you the easiest way. If you have this kind of fraction, this kind of fractional equation, it means only one fraction on the left hand side and only one fraction on the right hand side. Then there is an option which is called as cross multiplication. Cross multiplication means upward cross multiplication. D will go to A and B will go to C, but the condition is applied one fraction on the left, one fraction on the right. So if you are having A plus B plus 1, let us assume C by D. So on the left hand side, we do not have one fraction, we have 2 fractions, and on the right hand side, we have 1. So in this case, we cannot do the cross multiplication. You need to be very much sure about it. If you want to do the cross multiplication, then you need to combine these two and make a single fraction by taking the LCM like this, and then you can do the cross multiplication now. Okay, so here we are having 1 fractions on the either side, so we are free to do the cross multiplying. Always make the arrows upwards. You need to keep in your head. So what is gonna happen here? 3 is gonna come here and it is gonna multiply with 4x minus 3, and 5 is dividing here, it is gonna multiply with the opposite cross. So now let us open the brackets. So when we are opening the brackets, we have to multiply this outer number with each of the individual term inside. So 3 4s are 12x, 3 3s are 9, 5 7s are 35, 5 2s are 10x. Now we have to solve the equation and we'll bring the x terms on the same side and numbers on the same side. So 12x, this is minus 10x, it will go on the other side and we'll add them, and 35, and this is minus 9, I'll go on the other side, it will be plus 9. So we got here, this is gonna be 22x and this is gonna be 44. X comes out to be 44. 22 is being multiplied here and we divide here, and we got x equals to 2, and that is the. So when we are solving an equation, it means we are going to find the value of the unknown. The unknown is x here. That is how this question can be performed. This is your answer. Okay, question number 13. This is a very interesting and easy question, and it gives you generally a lot of points. So this question is asked for 5 marks. Let us see. First of all, in this grid, there are 3 lines other than x-axis and y-axis. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. These are the like coordinate axis. Other than these 2 lines, these 2 axes, there are 3 lines have been drawn. One line is here, that is vertical line. Okay, and second line here, this is a slanting dotted line, and next line is here slanting solid line. Let us understand the question first. What we have to do, we have to make the equations or inequations for these 3 lines. So when we are going to make the inequation, we have to understand the area first. Whenever this kind of problem comes out, the shaded area is always, you need to remember that shaded area is always unwanted area, and unshaded area is your answer part. In IGCSE that happens. Okay, it means your answer lies here in this white portion and this yellow portion is not required. Let us go one by one. The second point here, you need to take it out. If there is a solid line means equals to, it means this is a solid line, it means this x belongs to 3 and this is unwanted region. So this is the wanted region. We have to find it out which is wanted, which is unwanted, because shaded is this side and unshaded is this side. So this is wanted region. So it means for the first equation, vertical line, and that is solid one. So vertical line, the equation is always in the terms of x equals to k, whatever the k is. Here the value of k is 3. And since it is an inequation and we want the wanted region lies on the right side of the line. So it comes out to be x greater than 3. X greater than 3. So since it is a solid line, it means 3 will also be included in the answer. So x is greater than or equal to 3. That is the first equation. So whenever there is a solid line, you need to make this equal to sign. If there is a dotted line, then you do not need to make the equal to sign. So that is, we are done with the first thing. Now let us go for the second one. Let us take this solid line. Now, first of all, we make the equation, then we will convert that equation into an inequality. In this solid line, you see carefully, you need to find 2 points. Solid slanting line. Okay, so the equation is always written in the form of y equal to mx plus c, where m belongs to the slope of the equation and m is generally given by y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So we need to choose any 2 points on the solid line. So let us take first point this and second point this. I always prefer to take the points on the coordinate axis. So this point is 0, 2. The first point is 0, 2 and the second point is 4, 0. You can take any point on the line, that is your wish. So m is subtract y from y, 0 minus 2 and subtract x from x, that is 4 minus 0. So you got here minus 2 by 4 and if you cancel it down, you get minus half. Now you got your m here. Now we need to find c. To find c, we need to plug in this x, y and m in the problem and we'll find c. Where you can find x and y? Any point you can take for x and y. So I'll take this first point. What is going to happen? Y equals to mx plus c. Y is here 2. M here is minus half and x here is 0 plus c. So minus half times 0 is 0. So 2 equals to c. So in that sense, your equation comes out to be y equals to m. M is negative half x and what is c? That is plus 2. That is your equation of the required line. Now you have to convert this into the inequation. You need to see which sign will be implied here. So how you will find the correct sign? You go to your answer part. This is your answer part, and take any point here. Let us assume we take this. The coordinates are 6, 2. So let us see x is 6 and y is 2. So what we'll do, we'll plug in here the sign values, that is 2 minus half times x and plus 2. And what happens here? This goes here, minus 3 plus 2, and it gives us minus 1. So choose any point from the answer and plug in the equation, left hand side and right hand side separately, and now see which side is greater. So you see 2 is greater than minus 1. So this would be the sign of the inequation. Whether it is a solid line or dotted line, it is a solid line. Hence we have equal to sign, and we plug in y minus half x plus 2, and this is your second inequation. This is your second inequation. Okay, and let us see the third inequation we have to find. Third inequation is required for this dotted line. Here we are talking about this line. Okay, so first of all we need to find the equation for this dotted line. So do you take any 2 points? I'll prefer the points on the x-axis and y-axis itself. One point is this dotted line. The points are, first point is 1, 0, and the second point is here 1, 0, and second point is here, that is 0, minus 1. So what do we need to do? We need to find the m first. So m is given by, for this equation, y2 minus y1 minus 1 minus 0, x2 minus x1, 0 minus 1. This comes out to be minus 1 over minus 1, and it gives you 1. So m is 1. So equation is y equal to mx plus c. You have, take any point. I take 1, 0 here. So 0, m is 1, x is 1, and plus c. So m is 1, x is 1, and this 1 ones are 1. So 1 goes on the other side, it becomes out to be. So your equation comes out to be y equals to, what is the value of m here? That is 1, 1x, and what is the value of c? That is. Now we have to choose which sign, because it is an inequality. So what sign could be taken here? So what do? You take any point from the answer part. That is all unwanted reason. This white portion is your required answer. Okay. So what we'll do here? We'll find any point. Let us take the same point 6, 2. So we make a line here, and y is 2, and let us plug in x equals to 6. So this is 2, and this is 6. Ones are 6 minus 1, 5. Which side is greater? This side is greater. 5, this side is greater. It means x minus 1 will be on the greater side. And whether equal to sign will come or not, because it's a dotted line, so this sign will not come here. It is not a strict, it is a strict inequality. So it will write here y, and this sign comes out like this, and x minus 1. This is your third one. So this would be considered as answer. So this is your first thing. Let me highlight with a different color. This is your first answer. This is your second inequation, and this is your third inequation. And this work is going to give you 5 marks in total. So I'm taking a little longer time because I want you to make you understand with a detailed concept, and I want to show you the working also. Therefore, I'm going little slowly. Let us move to the next problem. Next problem is, this question belongs to the concept of similarity. Similarity figures. In similar figures, what we have, ratio of, in the similar figures, ratio of the sides is always equal. Second thing, ratio of the areas, ratios of the areas is equal to square of ratio of sides. And third thing, ratio of volumes ratio of volumes is given as cube of the ratio of sides. That is how we solve these kind of problems. Two bottles are mathematically similar. This is the data which we require here. The larger bottle has the capacity, so volume of large bottle, that is 1.35 liter, and height of the large bottle is, that is 24 centimeter. Now volume of the smaller bottle, that is 0.4 liter, and volume given, and we are going to ask the height of smaller bottle, that is asked. So what we'll do, volume of larger upon volume of smaller is equals to height of larger upon height of smaller. And because in the case of volume we do the cube, so we do the cube here. We plug in the value 1.35 upon this is 0.4, and it is 24 upon h, which is required, and let us do the cube. So there are two options when you are solving this kind of problem. Either you find the cube of these and then cross multiply to find the cube root, or you directly take the cube root on the other side. That is your wish, how you are gonna like it. So if I do the if I take the cube here, it will become, let us take this question with this method, and 0.4 equals to 24 by h. Now you have to do the cross multiplication. The student stuck here in the sort of cross multiplication, but there is a way out. We'll do the question with other method also, like cube root of 0.4 and 24 by h. Now we do the cross multiplication here. Cross multiplication works as h into cube root of 1.35 equals to 0. This will go there, 24 multiplied by cube root of 0.4. So what happens here? H comes out to be 24 into cube root of 1.04 upon cube root of 1.35. If you plug in this value in the calculator, we can get the answer. That is the first answer we're gonna get. And let us take is the other, which student prefer always to solve. Let us see. Okay, so we have here 1.5. I'm solving it with the other method from this part only. So 1.35 upon 0.4, and we have to do the cube of 24. So 24 cube, what it gives us? 24 raised to power 3, and it gives us 13,824. 13,824 divided by h cube, because this cube belongs to both the numbers, okay, here and here. So do we multiply, cross multiply 1.35, 13,824 into 0.4, h cube is equals to 13824 multiplied by 0.4 and divide by 1.35, because it is being multiplied here, okay. So now whatever the answer is gonna come out, we're gonna take the cube root of that. Let us start solve. If you are using calculator directly, you can plug in whole of the fraction in the cube root at once, or you can solve this fraction, then take the cube root. That is all the way up to you, how you like it. Okay, so I'm gonna solve this inequation, this cube root. So we're gonna take the cube root function first. So cube root function happens with, see, this is a little dark here. I think alpha would be giving us, no, let me find it out here. This is the function here. So this is 3, and we are gonna inside we are having a fraction. So fraction says 13824 multiplied by 0.4 in the numerator, and then put the down button, 1.35, and just put your answer here. So h comes out to be 16. And if you calculate this thing, you will again get h equal to 16. Whatever the method you feel easy, that is gonna work here. So this step had been taken further here. Okay, so this is the answer as 16 centimeter. Let us take the next problem, question number 15. This belongs to function. So the students, they always get stuck with domain and range. So let us first understand what is domain. Domain of a function means list of all permissible input values. Okay, all permissible input values, and range is list of all permissible output values. How you will get an output? If you plug in an input, then that input is going to give you some output. If -2 is allowed as input because it is a part of the domain, whatever you plug in here, -2, and whatever output you are going to get, that is going to be part of the range. And you plug in 0 in the function, whatever it is going to give you, that is your second output. And if you plug in 3 here in the function, you will going to get your third output. So that is what we are required to find. What is the function to be taken? That is f. F function is here. So f of x is equals to 10 minus 2x. First, let us see if we plug in -2 here. So f of -2, that is 10 minus 2 times -2. Whenever you plug in something, you always plug in the bracket. So -2 times -2, 4, and that is 14. And next is f of 0. 0 is the input. 10 times 2 minus 0, that is going to be 10. And the third thing is f of 3. So 10 minus 2 times 3, 10 minus 6, that is going to give us 4. So hence the range is going to be 14, 10, and 4. That is going to your answer. That is going to be your answer. So when the domain is given in simple numbers, you plug in those numbers one by one, and whatever the list, if there are 3 inputs as domain in the domain, then you will get 3 outputs for range. Okay, in that way this question will be performed. Let us see the next part. Now we have to find the inverse of f. That I had copied both the functions here. You need to see the variables carefully. The first step is, when you are finding the inverse, the first step is like write f of x as y. Second thing, what do you do? Interchange x and y. Number 3, make y as subject. And number 4, now replace y with f minus 1 of whatever the variable is. Need to be a little careful here. So we are having function f of x equals to 10 minus 2x. First of all, replace f of x with y, 10 minus 2x. Now we are going to make x as a subject. So whenever I try to make a variable as subject, I always try to keep that term positive. So here -2, we are having negative 2x. So what I'll do, I'll take this -2 on the other side. But before that, we need to interchange. Interchange x and y. We got x equals to 10 minus 2y. Now let us take 2y on the other side. We have positive 2y, 10 minus x. This had been taken here and this had been taken here. So y term on the separate side. Now value of y, 2 is being multiplied here. 10 minus x over 2. So y comes out to be 10 minus x over 2. And now the last step, replace y with f inverse of x. is equals to 10 minus x by 2. So 10 minus x by 2 is your answer. That is how this second part would be solved. And let us move to the third part. What third part says? Third part says this is the example of, this is called g f x. This is called g of f of x. So whenever you read f x, it is called function of variable x, or it is generally read as f of x. Whatever is written after of, that would be considered as input of that function. That would be considered as input of that function. So it means in that g of f of x, it means this is going to be your input. I'm just giving you theory. If you do not understand this, if you understand this, you can skip this. Okay. So g of f of x. So in the function g, will plug in wherever x is written, we'll plug in the value of f. So what is g of x? That is given as 2x square plus 3, and g of f of x, what do you write it as? 2 times f of x square plus 3. What is going to happen? 2 times f of x. What is f of x? 10 minus 2x whole square plus 3. Now you have to simplify the bracket first, because when we have plus minus bracket together, so we always use BIDMAS or BEDMAS, whatever you like. So first of all, we solve the bracket. The bracket can be solved using two methods. One is algebraic identity, that is considered as a minus b whole square is always considered as a square plus b square minus 2ab. The one thing. Second thing, if you do not know this identity, then you can multiply 10 minus 2x times 10 minus 2x one by one. Some students, they make a common mistake here. What they do, 10 minus 2x square means they take it as 100, and 2x square is that they take as 4x square. So if you are doing like this way, this is going to be absolutely wrong. So whatever is your choice, if you multiply these brackets like this, that is also allowed. No marks will be deducted here. And if you simplify these, okay, so you will get 100 minus 20x minus 20x plus 2 2s are 4, and x into x, x square. So we are going to get here 100 minus 40x plus 4x square. That is the simple opening way. Otherwise, you can use this formula also. So how this formula is going to work? We'll plug in here. This is our answer. A square means the first number square plus second number square minus 2 times first number times second number. Second thing, okay? So this is going to be 100 plus 4x square minus 40. This is quite easy. This method is quite easy if you remember the formula. Both are applicable. So let us move to the problem and plug in this value. 2 times we got 100 plus 4x square minus 40x plus 3. Now we have opened the bracket. Now we have to multiply 2 here. Then it is going to be 200. 2 4s are 8x square. 2 into 40, that is 80x. And 3 is independent. Do not multiply here. 3. Now we have to simplify. 8x square minus 80x. 200 plus 3 will give you 203. And that is your answer. And this had been expressed in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. If you like, if they ask you to find the value of a, b, c, let us assume then a is 8, b is minus 80, and c would be taken as 203. Okay, let us take to the next problem. This is a very common question which would be asked all the time. This question, I believe you need to kind of remember the trick which I'm going to tell you, otherwise it is going to give you a longer time problem. Okay, so what happens here? H inverse means whatever the inverse is. Let us understand first. Function is, let us assume f of x. Let us assume a function x plus 2. Let us take an easy example. So if I give an input is, let us assume 10. What is going to happen here? We plug in here 10, and we plug in here. 2 is copied here, and we got 12 as answer. Excuse me. So this is the input and this is the output. Inverse says if you have 12 as output, then what was the input? So in the inverse, what happens? The output of the original function becomes the input, and input of the first function becomes the output. Because if the answer is 12, the plug-in value was 10 here. Here you see, this is the input of inverse function. Input of inverse function is always equal to the output of original function. So this is the output of original function. Output of original, and this was input of inverse, and both are equal. So hence what we can take here directly, 10 raised to power 2 by x is equals to 10,000. You have to remember this shortcut, okay, all the time. Output of the original function is always equal to input of the inverse and vice versa. What we need to do? Now we have an exponential equation. We need to make the same base on the both sides. Here we are having 10. Here it can be made 10 as base. So 10 power 2 by x, and it can be written as 10 power 4. Since bases are same, the powers has to be equal, and we do the cross multiply. 4 into x, that is 4x. 2 into 1, that is 2, and x comes out to be 2 by 4. X comes out to be half. That is going to be your answer. This is very, very important problem, and in the function, this question comes 100 times or 1 or 2 marks. That depends on the problem's level. Very, very important. You have to remember this shortcut, okay, every time. Okay, let us see question number 16. The temperature T degrees Celsius of a liquid is given by a formula T equals to A times B power X. What I'm saying that A times B power X means this X power belongs to B only, it doesn't belong to A. So if X belongs to A and B both, it has to be written like this in the bracket. So that is very, very important. In this case, now X belongs to A and here X belongs to B also, but here it is not the case of bracket. So hence this power belongs to B only, where X is a number of minutes after 2 minutes. It means if the time is 2 p.m., the number of minutes passed after 2 is 0. That is given by X. It means X is equals to 0. If time is 2:01 p.m., it means that number of minutes passed after 2 minutes is 1 minute. So here X would be taken. If time is, let us assume 2:10 p.m., so 10 minutes have been passed after 2 p.m. So here X would be taken as 10. Okay. So there are two equations we have been given. T is equal to 80 at 2 p.m. It means first case, T equals to AB power X. Here T is given as 80. A we have to find and B we have to find. But because it is at exactly 2 p.m., it means 0 minute had been passed after 2 p.m. So hence we take it as a power 0. So any number raised to power 0 is 1. So A times 1 equals to 80 and A comes out to be 80. That is our first equation which gave us this value of A. Okay, so whenever you see these kind of questions, if you do not understand, just start solving. Gradually in the process, you will find some way to solve the question. Okay, so in the second problem, we write the formula first. A B power X. T is 20. A we have found here as 80 and B we have to find in this case. And what is the time? T20 at 2:30 p.m. It means 30 minutes have been passed after 2. It means X is equal to 30 has to be taken here. This answer is looking little weird. So B power 30 and this comes out to be 1 by 4. We have to write the answer in the simplest form. So b power 30 is equals to 1 by 4. And there are two ways when you transpose a power from one side of the equation to other side, it gets reciprocal and it remains in the power. So b is equals to 1 by 4 whole raised to power 1 by 30. It could be taken like this, and this is your answer. And some students, they get confused. If there is another way to solve this problem, like 1 by 4 equals to b power 30. So what we are taking what is the opposite of 30? 1 by 30. So taking 1 by 30 power, that is the fundamental concept, both sides. So 1 by 4 whole raised to power 1 by 30, b raised to power 30 whole raised to power 1 by 30. So power of power will get multiplied, 1 by 30 here. So power of power will get multiplied, 30 and 30 will get cancelled, and b got the same answer as it here. That would be appropriate to solve. That is the concept behind taking the power on the other side, and it becomes reciprocal power on the other side. Okay, let us see what happens next. Okay, this question belongs to the topic which is known as derivative. I want to discuss a bit about derivative. What is derivative? Derivative is a function which can provide us all or provide us gradients of all possible tangents, gradient of all possible tangents to a curve at any value of x. Okay, so what does it mean? For an example, we are having this kind of curve, and for an example, you are interested to find the gradient of the tangent here. So this here, let us assume this is the tangent. This is the tangent here. Here, let us assume this is the tangent. Here, if you say, let us assume this is the tangent. There are many tangents which could be drawn. So every tangent is drawn on a specific point. And what is the x value of that specific point? What is the x value of that specific point? What is the x value of that specific point? So if you have the x value, you can find the gradient of the tangent at that point without even drawing the curve. Okay, so that gives us, derivative function gives us that tangent. So here what is required? A curve has an equation. Curve's equation had been given, y equals to x cube minus 5 by 2 x square plus 3. So find the gradient. So we have to find the gradient. It means we have to find the derivative function first. Derivative function is written by dy by dx. So how do we find it as? Like if a function has ax raised to power n, so what we do? N power goes in front of the function into a, and now because we took one n in front of, so here one n will reduce. So we are having n a x power n minus 1. So simply think, 3 comes out in the front and 1 power reduces. 2 comes out in the front, 2 into 5 by 2, and here 1 power reduces, and plus constant numbers have 0 derivative. So plus 0. If we simplify it further, 3x square, 2 and 2 got cancelled, minus 5x, and that is dy by dx for this specific problem. Now we have to find the gradient of the curve at x equals to 1.5. It means gradient of all possible tangents to a curve at any value of x. So what do we have to do? We have to put that value in the gradient function. So how do we write it as? Dy by dx at x equals to 1.5. So 3 times 1.5 square minus 5 times 1.5. Let us bring the calculator out and calculate these values. If we see 3 times 1.5 square minus 5 times 1.5. Okay, and let us see, it gives us minus 3 by 4, and that is our required answer. So I always take some time because I want to discuss the concept behind in a short period of time. Okay, let us move to the next part, 18th problem. This problem comes out from the chapter statistics. In this kind of problem, the major mistake which I had seen with my students, that whatever they write here, they do not put the same value in the calculator. They do it so quickly, so they get mistaken. You need to be very much sure. So in statistics, when you are finding mean, specifically mean, you need mid values like x values of class intervals. These groups are called class intervals, okay? And other thing is you need to have frequency. So mid values and frequency, if you multiply these two guys, you will be giving in total the value of that specific class interval. So let us start with, here we have to find the mean. We have been given a data. The table shows information about the time that each of 90 trains is delayed. So the 0 to 10 minutes, 13 trains have been delayed, 10 to 30 minutes, 20, 35, and so on. So here we have a grouped class interval in each class. So here we'll be finding the mid values. So 0 plus 10 divided by 2, that gives us 5. 10 plus 30, 40. 40 divided by 2, that gives us 20. 30 plus 45, 75. Half of the 75 is, you can do it by using the calculator as well. Okay, for an example, if you are using calculator, so 45 plus 75, whatever it is, divide by 2. So hence we'll get 60 here. So these are the mid values. Now we have to multiply these. Multiply these means mean is given by mean. The formula of mean is sum of all fi and xi. These are the f values, these are the x values, and divided by number of observations, total number of observations. Okay, so how do you find it? 5 into 13. You have to show this working, okay? Plus 20 into 35 plus 37.5 into 36 plus 60 into 6. So when you are copying the value, you need to be very careful here because this question is just about copying the values. Okay, so what are the numbers in total? 35, 13, 36, and 6. These are total numbers are 90 had been given here. So we plug in here 90. Let us bring our calculator and calculate these answers. So what we are having, 5 times 13. You need to check it again whether you are substituting the correct values or not. That is a very common mistake I just told you. 37.5 multiplied by 36 plus 60 times 6. Okay. So this gives you 2475 and we have to divide it by 90. So the exact answer comes out to be 27.5 and write the units also. So the mean time is 27.5. So that is how we find the mean. This is one of the easiest question which could be found out in the statistics chapter. Let us move to the next problem. Its B part says a histogram is drawn to show the information in the given table. The height of the bar for the interval 10 to 30, for example, we're talking about this interval, is 14 centimeter. Calculate the height of the bar in each of the other interval. So generally when we draw the histogram, we always draw here frequency density. But sometimes we need to draw we need to take some other heights other than frequency density according to the problem or according to the environment need. Okay. So what we do here, what we are looking for? We are looking for the height, if it has height 14, then with respect to this 14, what should be the height of these three class intervals histogram? These three class intervals histogram. Okay, let us do one thing here, that height of bar is generally given by frequency density into some factor k. So that the thing you have to remember. Height of the bar on histogram is given by frequency density into some factor of k. Some factor k, that k is a constant factor, and that k will help us to find out these three heights. We'll find the frequency density of each of these. Okay, then we multiply the k which we will obtain from here. This will help us to find us k. Okay, so in that sense, we'll solve the problem. And let us find the k first. Okay, how do we find? Here, in this case, the height of the bar is given as 14. So we plug in here 14. And what is frequency density? Frequency density is given by frequency upon class width. So what is the frequency of this class is 35. And what is the class width? That is 30 minus 10, 20 into k. Now we have to find the value of k. So what is going to happen? 5 7s are 5 4s are, and 14 into 4, because 4 is being divided here, it will go multiply, and 7 is multiplying here, it is go and divide. 7 2s are, so it means the k constant is 8. This is very important problem, and this students is generally stuck in this problem. So if you remember this thing, you find the k value. Now for 0 m 10, frequency is 13, class width is 10 minus 0 10. So what we need to find? Height of the bar. Height of the bar is frequency density into the k constant. Frequency density comes out to be 13 by 10 into k constant, that is 8. So 13 8s are 104 upon 10. You can use the calculator as well. So 10.4 centimeter is the height of that histogram bar for this section. Second, it had already been given. Now third, for 30 m 45. So I'm writing a lot because I want to make you comfortable and organized. So if you are solving the problem, you do not need to write that much here. This is for your understanding only. So frequency here is 36 and class width is 30, 45, 45 minus 30. So 45 minus 30, that comes out to be 15. So hence height of this is frequency density into k. Frequency density is frequency upon class width into k, that is 8. We'll calculate this on the calculator because some numbers are complex. So 36 into 8, I multiplied the numerators, and 288, and divide by the denominator, that is 15. So what we got here? 19.2. So this height has to be 19.2 centimeter. Now the last one, for 45 m 75. Here the frequency is 6 and class width is 75 minus 45, that is 30. So height is given by frequency density into k. Frequency density is frequency upon class width into k, and what we find here, 6 into 48. Yeah, we can write it as 6 1s are, 6 5s are, or we can say that it is 8 by 5. So what is 8 by 5? 8 divided by 5 equals to, and this SD button, it gives us 1.6. So these are the heights of the required bars, and you need to remember this, make proper notes. This is very, very important problem which the student stuck generally. Okay, let us see the next one. Okay, chapter probability. What it says, that I had copied the table here. The table says 2 of trains with delay of more than 30 minutes are chosen at random. So 2 trains have been chosen when the time of delay is more than 30. More than 30, it means the trains are being selected. The trains are being selected from this group. Trains are being selected from this group only. Okay, now what is the condition behind? Condition says the probability that just one of these trains is delayed for 45 minutes or less. Because we have to choose from this group only. So train is delayed for 45 minutes or less. It means first train has to be chosen from here and one train chosen from here, and the second train has to be chosen from here. Simple thing. We have to select 2 train. It says one of the 2 trains is delayed for 45 minutes or less. It means the first train, the one train we take from this group, and the second train we have to take this group, and we can do it by vice versa. First train we can take from here and the second train from here, because order is not given. One train, he said. One train means we can take this first, this second, or this first and this one second. So hence, how do we solve this problem? If we take first train from here, then 36 total trains have been chosen here. 36 plus 6, that is 42. We have to choose from 42 trains, okay? So 42 frequency, 42 into, if we choose from second train, we choose from this group, and 6, because one train had been chosen already. Okay, 41. Okay, on the other side, if we take this first, then this comes out to be 6 by 42. And then we chose this, so then there are 36 trains, but one train out of total had been already chosen here. So hence, what we'll write here? 41, and we have to calculate. In that kind of case, you will see the numerators are 36 times 6, 36 times 6, and the denominators are 42 times 1, 42 times 1. Hence, we can write it as like 2 times 36 over 42 into 6 over 41, or you can plug in this statewide in your calculator. Okay, let us see how we do it with the calculator. So this comes out to be a fraction thing, 2 times 36 times 6 divide by 42 times 41. Or you can simply put in the calculator this value also, that will gonna give you same answer. So we got 72 over 287, and that has to be the answer according to my thing. So in the probability, generally students, they get confused, but gradually, as the practice, we can solve further problems. Okay, let us see. In the next problem here. Okay, wow. Next problem is from chapter vector. And this question is a headache to hundreds of students who are solving IGCSE maths. And let us see what I did. We are having OABCDE is a regular hexagon. So this is a very important word in this problem. Regular means all side equal, all angles are equal. Vector OA is given as P, fine. Vector AB is given as A to B is given as Q. Now what we have to look it out, whatever I want to show you, I'll do it in a very simpler manner, and I'll show you something which many students, they couldn't see. If you see this diagram carefully, if I try to show you, let us take this diagram. If you see this diagram carefully, okay, if you see this diagram, so this question will take a little longer time. So in this diagram, this looks like a parallelogram. This looks like a parallelogram because if I take this as, F, let us assume. So what we are having, OABF. We can say that OA is looking parallel to BF and AB is looking parallel to OF. If opposite sides are parallel, then it is considered as a parallelogram. And when it is a parallelogram, the opposite sides are also equal. In the parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel and opposite sides equal as well. So what we can do here, if you see carefully, this is P, then this part has to be P. So opposite sides are equal. If AB is Q, then this OF has to be Q in this direction. Direction is very important. When you write something here, put the direction as well. In the same manner, if you see this OAFE is again a parallelogram. OAFE. If this is a parallelogram, then opposite sides are again equal. So OA has to be equal to EF. If this is P, then this has to be BP. Do not forget to put the arrow here. And if okay, done. So here, moreover, further, if this is Q, if you see carefully, this is exactly opposite to that. Since it is a regular hexagon, all sides are equal and all angles are equal. In that sense, what we can say, if this is Q, then DE can also be taken as Q. Do not forget to put the arrow here. Okay, let me delete it. Q, and do not forget to put the arrows here. And this is P. Then if you see carefully, exactly opposite to that, we are having DC. Put the arrow, and this is P, then this has to be P. So we had found lot of portions of this regular hexagon. Further, if you see carefully, okay, we'll go to the problems later. Further, you see carefully, if we are looking at BC, let us assume we are looking for BC here. So BC can be found from this triangle. For this triangle, we need to have some other parts also. BC could be found as BF plus FC. So whatever the vector we are looking for, A, B, C, if we are looking for vector BC, what we need to do? We need to choose the alternate path here. We need to go from B to A, then add further A to C. Then if we are doing this, we are going to find the vector BC. And that is the fundamental process here. Okay. Now, if you see carefully, this shape also looks like a parallelogram. If this looks like a parallelogram, if this is Q, AB is Q, so then the opposite of AB is also going to be Q. So opposite of AB is CF and or FC, we can place it as Q. So now we can find BC here. If you see carefully, for BC, what we need, from BC, we go B to F and F to C. B to F, BF and F to C. So we write here BC vector as B to F vector plus F to C vector. So B to F, we are gonna go in the opposite direction. So it would be taken as minus P. And F to C, we are going in the same direction. So hence it is minus P plus Q. If this is minus P plus Q, what is gonna be the exactly opposite? That is also gonna be minus P plus Q. If you have done this kind of job in the diagram itself, then this question is gonna fit in pieces for you. Okay. So let us first go for DE. DE we have found. You need to see the direction carefully. Okay. So this is Q, this is Q. So vectors are equal when they have same direction. So we have ED vector Q. So we are looking for DE. DE would be given as minus Q, and that is your answer. Next, we are looking for BE. Let us see for BE. If you try to look at carefully, for BE, we have to go like this. For BE, we have to go B to E in a different manner. If you want to solve it in a long way, then B to C, C to D, D to E, we can find BE. Otherwise, we have already written that this is P, then this part is P, this is P, then this part BF is P. So hence we can write as BE as P plus P, because we are going in the opposite direction. Hence what we're gonna do, we're gonna plug the negative sign here. So this is gonna be minus P and minus P. This is gonna be minus 2P. Okay, otherwise if you want to show, for an example, this comes in a 3 marks question, you will take BC plus CD plus DE. Then also you will gonna get minus 2P here. And now what we are gonna look for? OE. OE. This part we are looking for. We have already found this part, minus P plus Q. If you want to show it, you can take this triangle also. So we can show that in triangle OEF, vector OE could be taken as, take the alternate path, O to F and F to E. OF plus OE. Okay, so OF is Q. We are moving in the same direction. We'll copy it as it is. And OE, sorry, FE here. FE here. So FE, we are moving in the opposite direction because P is in the right direction. We are going in the left direction. So we'll write it as minus P, and this comes out to be Q minus P, and or we can write it as minus P plus Q. Both can be correct. So that is how we decode the problem. And this is quite easy. The student generally solve this, but the next part is quite a headache. It is going to take a little longer time. Please be with me with patience. Okay, now let's see the next part of this vector problem, and this part is a headache to many of the students, in fact teachers also. Let us try to understand and solve an easier way which relates to the concept which we have understood in other chapters. Okay, let's first of all mark it out what we had found in the previous part. AB vector is Q, then we have found that this, if this we take as F, then this vector OF is Q and FC is Q. You remember that I showed you that this is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. And if you see on the other side, this is also a parallelogram. Then opposite sides are parallel and equal as well. So this is Q, then this has to be Q. You do not forget to mark the arrow sign, okay? So this is P. If you see, this is a parallelogram. Mark the arrow sign. This is P and this is P, then this has to be BP. That we have already found. This is P, then this has to be BP. And the BC part is B to F, F to C. B to F, when we are moving in the negative direction. So minus P plus Q. And BC is minus P plus Q. Then OE is also minus P plus Q. Okay. Now what we are looking for here, we are looking for position vector of G in terms of P and Q. So what is given here? OB and DC are extended. So I put a scale here on OB and I extend it a long length, and then I put my scale on DC and I extended it, and they intersect at G and I raise the extra part. Okay. So now I have to find the position vector. Position vector is position vector of G means we are looking for OG. Position vector start from the origin always. So what we are looking for here, OG. To find OG, we can divide the OG part into these two sections. First part is we are looking for OG here. OG is OB. See carefully, OB plus BG. OB, we put the arrows here. OB plus BG. Okay. So OB plus BG, that is our fundamental requirement. And students always find OB because OB lies in triangle OAB. We can find that OB vector could be written as OA plus AB. OA plus AB. Okay. So in that way, OB vector is found. OB vector is P plus Q. So full OB is P plus Q because these are the AF and OB are the diagonals. See carefully, AF and OB are the diagonal of this parallelogram OABF. So this is a parallelogram. Diagonals, they bisect each other. Diagonals of parallelogram family, they bisect each other. And let us take this point as M. It means if OB is P plus Q, then this portion has to be taken as P plus Q by 2, and this portion has to be taken as P plus Q by 2 because diagonal bisect each other. If OB is 10, then these two have to be 5 and 5. Okay, so we found this. Now what is left overall here? didn't find this FD thing, this thing, and we didn't find this AF thing. Let us find these two also. FD. What is FD? If you look carefully, what is FD? FD is exactly opposite to, try to find it out. FD is exactly opposite to, in the same like parallel thing, it is exactly opposite to BC. FD is exactly opposite to BC. If I show you, this is the parallelogram FBCD, and opposite sides of the parallelogram are equal and parallel as well. So if this is minus P plus Q, then this has to be minus P plus Q. In the same fashion, this AF also minus P plus Q. If this is minus P plus Q, then this portion, this since the diagonal bisect each other, this whole is AF is minus P plus Q. Then this MF part could be taken as minus P plus Q by 2. I'll write here. Why I'm writing all these? Because we had found every pit and piece of this diagram. Now, listen to my idea, which I told you that will we use the concept which we have done in the previous classes. Try and understand. I will try to draw a similar diagram here. This is G, this is D, and this is point M. And here I'm trying to find it out, C and B. And BC looks like parallel to MD from the diagram. See, try to match it. GDM and GCB, here BC is parallel to DM or MD. So if you see carefully now, when you see these kind of triangles, I always say to my students, if you have parallel lines division, this angle is equal to this angle equal to this angle as corresponding angles. So we can say that both the triangles are similar. We can say that triangle GCB is similar to triangle GDM. Okay, so when the triangles are similar, the ratio of their corresponding sides is always equal. Corresponding means smaller triangle side. If you see carefully, BG is the smaller triangle side over MG is the larger triangle side. On the other hand, BC is the smaller triangle side and MD is the larger triangle side. So what exactly we are looking for here? We are looking for BG here. We are looking for BG here because we are exactly looking for OG vector in which we had already found OB here. We have already found OB here. What we are left with BG now. Let us take BG as X. Let us take BG as X. Okay. So now we'll plug in the values here which we have already found and we'll try to find the length of BG. So I'll take here again BG over MG equals to BC over MD. What is BG? BG is X. What is MG? MG is MB plus BG. You have to be with the diagram. So this is X. This is P plus Q by 2. This is minus P plus Q. And this thing is MD could be found as minus P plus Q and minus P plus Q by 2. And this comes out to be minus 3 by 2 P plus, 3 by 2. 3 by 2 minus P plus Q. You can find it out. MD could be found as, I'll solve it here. MD is MF plus FD. MF is minus P plus Q by 2 and FD is minus P plus Q. Minus P plus Q. If we add them, we take the LCM, minus P plus Q. 2 goes to the top, 2 goes to the top by 2, and if we simplify that, we got minus 3p plus 3q by 2, and we take 3 by 2 out, we got minus p plus q. That is length of MD. Okay, so BC we are having here, BC is minus p plus q, and MD is, we have just found, 3 by 2 minus p plus q. Now what is going to happen? This and this got cancelled. X over, what is MB? MB is p plus q by 2. What is BG? That is x equals to, we got here 2 by 3. 1 divided by 3 by 2 is 2 by 3. Now we do the cross multiplication thing. 3 goes in the top, and this whole of the denominator goes here. So what we got? 3 times x and 2 times p plus q by 2 plus x. So 3x equals to 2 will multiply here first, and then 2 will multiply here first in the second part. So 2 will 2 get cancelled. We are left with p plus q, and 2 into x, that is 2x. 2x is positive here if we'll take on the other side. So we got x equals to p plus q. X equals to p plus q. What we are looking for finally? We are looking for OG vector. OG vector is given by OB vector plus BG vector. OB vector is given by, we have found here OB, that is p plus q, and we have found BG here. BG is x. So x we have found as p plus q, that is p plus q, and the whole answer would be 2p plus 2q, and that would be taken as final answer. Okay, so this is a quite difficult level problem. So we have to work hard. We have to practice 2, 3, 4, 5 times, because if you understand this question, I think whole of the vector thing is done by solving these kind of problems. Okay, now see question number 20. This question belongs to trigonometry, and what we have to find here, calculate the area of the triangle ABC. This is our triangle ABC, and these points are shown that those are on a horizontal ground, meaning we are having an aerial view here. Okay, so this is the triangle. So area of the triangle in trigonometry, area of triangle is given by half AB sine theta. What does it mean? That if we are having this kind of triangle, let us assume this kind of triangle, and this is B, this is C, and this is A, and let us assume you are having, this is the angle, and this angle is held by two sides A and B. If we have this kind of pattern with us, as this is called SAS pattern, side after that angle and after that side, then you can use half AB sine theta formula. So half AB means first side, so this is the angle and it is surrounded by these two lines. So angle half A B, this is A, this is B, and this is theta. So this would be sine 57 degree. So let us put in the calculator and find out the answer. So this is going to be 0.5 half multiplied by 450 and multiplied by 600 into sine 57, and okay, so we got 113,220.526. 220.56. So the answer is generally required up to 3 significant figures. So the first option is, which you can write your answer as 113,000 meter square, and write up to 3 significant figures, or if you want to write correct up to 2 decimal places, that is also possible. So 113,220, and what was after 56, it is 526. Okay, 526, 526, and this could be written as, 0.53 meter square. This is rounded off to 2 decimal place. Both the answers are acceptable. as you write, this is more favorable. Okay, let us see the next part of this problem. In the next part, what we have been given in this shape, I have copied the shape again. We have to find that angle CAD is 85.8 degree. CAD. CAD. This angle we are looking for exactly. Okay, so let us mark this angle. Let us mark this angle as, let us assume X. Okay, so when we have in the triangle two sides and two angles, one side A and the opposite angle is Y, one side is B, the opposite angle is X. If you have this kind of combination, then you can use sine rule in that problem. But strictly you need to use the opposite ones only. So here 450 has opposite angle as D and 290 has opposite angle as 34. So this is the combination which we can use. So using sine rule in triangle ACD. So this angle we'll be finding in the next step. Okay. So first of all, find angle D. So what we are looking for, sine angle D, and what is the opposite side here? That is upon 450. And on the other hand, 290 has 34 degree opposite. So sine 34 degree. And what is the side? 290. Okay, this is sine rule. And we are finding angle D. So 450 is being divided here and it will go and multiply on the other side. So we got sine 34 into 450 upon 290. And let us put this in the calculator, then we'll be finding angle D. Okay, so what we are going to do here, fraction thing, sine 34, and you need to close the bracket, okay, all the time, multiplied by 450 and divided by 290. What you are going to get here? 0.86771. 86771. Because we are not allowed to round off in the middle of the problem. So your marking scheme or answer scheme always takes the display of the calculator. That is why I wrote this 5 digits. So we have to find angle D first. So angle D could be found by using inverse of trigonometry. So sine inverse 0.86771 is equals to angle D. So let us use a calculator. Sine inverse, shift and sine. Sine inverse 0.86771. And let us close the bracket here. And we got 60.193. 60.193. And if you round it off to one decimal place, what are you going to get here? 60.2 degree in between. Okay, so now we got this angle as 60.2 degree. Since we have a triangle here, in the triangle, the sum of the angles is equals to 180 degree. So angle CAD, that was X here, plus the other angle is we just found 60.2 degree. And the other angle was 34 degree. And they all sum up to 180 degree because angles sum. Okay, so angle CAD comes out to be 180 minus 60.2 minus 34. Okay, if we calculate this, we got 85.8 degree, and this is up to one decimal place, and that is our answer. So hence we have proved the required thing. So sometimes the sine rule or cosine rule directly do not give you the answer. You need to be in the rules, side and opposite angle, whatever you could find from these set of rules, find that, then these two will help you to find the angle CAD here. Okay, let us see the next part of this problem. Okay, this is a good question. Good question in the sense, this was the question which most of the students stuck in this exam when they came from after the exam time. They were stuck in this problem. Let us understand this. There is a vertical mast at point B. Now, what is the first thing? You need to consider that you are having an aerial view and you are looking at from the sky at this plot, this like piece of land, and there are different points here. Vertical mast means a kind of a flag, okay? Kind of a flag, which you always see in the old ships, okay? The flag kind of thing. So in the B, they have a vertical pole, kind of, and a D, they have a vertical pole. B and D have two vertical poles. Let us assume. Try and understand. This is the pole at B, and its height of the mast at point B is 250 meter, and the height of the mast at point D. So I am raising a pole here on D also. So let us assume this is the pole on D. Okay. So this, try to assume this as vertically. Okay. So vertically poles have been plotted here. Now calculate the angle of depression. Try and understand. What is angle of depression? Angle of depression means you are in trigonometry, you are at point A. Let us assume this is the top of a building. This is the top of the building. And let us assume this is the road. And here is let us assume a football is placed here. And a kid is standing at point A and the kid is looking at the football. So when the kid is looking at the football, this line, this line, this is called the line of sight. This is called line of sight, by which the kid is looking at the football. Now, when you are making the angle of depression, you need to draw two lines all the time. From where you are looking at the object, one line is line of sight and other line is horizontal. Other side is horizontal. Horizontal means first thing you aligned your eyes or your head horizontally, and then we will look out how much degrees you have depressed your head to look at the object. The first you align your head exactly horizontally. You cannot move your eyes. That is a concept. And how much you had depressed your head downwards to look at the football. Or for an example, you are moving on the road and you see something dropped on the, let us assume, on the street, and you look downwards. Downwards mean, first of all, your head was aligned horizontally. You're looking exactly straight at 0 degree. Then you depressed your head downwards. How much degree you had tilted here? That would be considered as your angle of depression. So this angle is angle of depression. And this lies between always. You need to fix that, okay? Horizontal and line of sight. So what is happening here? Calculate the angle of depression of the top of the mast at point D. Depression means we are looking downwards. So where we are looking at? Top of the mast at point D. From where we are looking? From the top of the mast at point B. Let's assume this is the top of the pole of point B. We are looking from this point to this point in that direction. This is our line of sight. And what we need to draw always a horizontal line. That is very, very important. Okay. So this is the horizontal line, what we are looking for. Okay. And this is the theta, which is called the angle of depression for this specific diagram. Okay. So the pole at D has 45 meter. And if we draw this horizontal here, this is 45, then this has to be 45. And let us assume, mark the name A, B, let us assume C, and okay, C and D have already been taken. A is already been taken. So let us take P, Q, and R. And this angle is always equal to this angle. Why they are equal? Because they are alternate interior angles, they are z angles. So z angles are always equal. It means logically, instead of finding this angle, we would be finding this part. So now we are in the right angle triangle. This is a sign of good achievement. Now we are in the triangle, and in the triangle, this whole length is 250. This is 45. Then this part PR is gonna be 250 minus 45, and this is gonna be 205 meter. I hope you are understanding what I'm writing here, 205 meter. And in a triangle, if you are looking for an angle, you need to have two sides to use the inverse ratio. So if you see this triangle, let me use another color here. So this is the opposite side and this is the adjacent side. So if we find this adjacent side QR and we are having the opposite side, so we can use tan inverse in this problem. Okay, this is the triangle and this is 205. If we find this thing anyway, this thing, then we can find opposite over adjacent, tan inverse, and we can find this angle. That is required generally. So QR could be found because QR does not exist here. We are looking for BD logically. So BD and QR are the same thing. If we find BD, we can find QR. If we find QR, we can use a tan inverse here. So for BD, we have to go to this diagram. So logically, what we are looking at BD. Okay. First of all, we need to find BD. BD could be found as in the big triangle. What I'm looking at, I'm looking at triangle BDA. Okay. We are looking at triangle BDA. Let us make this. In triangle BDA. If you're not understood, you can draw a rough diagram here like this. This is B, this is D, this is A. So we're looking for BD. This is 290, this is 600, and we need to find the whole of angle A. So this part had been found in the previous section, 85.8. This angle is 85.8 degree. So this whole angle comes out to be 85.8 plus 57. Okay. This comes out to be 142.8. So this angle is 142.8 degree. So now you are clear with that. We are having a side including angle and another side SAS we are having here. So we can use the cosine rule to find BD. Okay. So we'll find here BD square C square equals to A square plus B square minus 2AB into cos 142.8 degree. So we are having 290 square plus 600 square minus 2 in times 290 times 600 and times cos 142.8, and let us see, we got 721,292,4115. So BD square is 721,295.4115. Am I correct here? 721,292,292. Okay, 292. Okay, this is the value I got from the calculator. Let us take the square root here. Then we'll finding the BD. Square root of 721,292.4115. What we got here? I think we made a mistake here. Okay, let us try it again. 721,292.4115. Okay, this is the correct value. And we got 849.289. 849.289. Okay, so this is the value we got here. This is the value we got here, 849.289. 0.289, and this is 849.289. Then QR is also 849.289. So we have 849.289. Now in this triangle PQR, you can see carefully that this is the theta which we are looking for, and this is the opposite side, and this is the adjacent side. Opposite over adjacent is tan, and we are looking for the angle, and therefore we can use tan inverse. So tan inverse of opposite, that is 205, over adjacent, that is 849.289, and let us find out the angle. Okay, let us use the calculator again. We got tan inverse, shift tan inverse, and fraction thing, 205 over 849.289. Always try to avoid round off exactly in between the problem, okay? And we got 13.570, 13.570 degree. And when we write the answers in the angles, we always try to write it as up to 1 decimal place. So the answer could be given as 13.6 degree, rounded off to 1 decimal place, and that should be your answer. So there are a lot of concepts which had been used in, and this was a heavy question. Okay, let us see the next problem, what it says. Okay, next problem belongs to the unit number, and we have to use the approximation here. The length of a cuboid is 2 centimeter. Correct to the nearest integer. Okay, so this is already rounded off, and we have to find what was the case before rounding off, or whatever this is called the accuracy. I'll tell you the concept. Lower bound could be found as whatever the value minus half of accuracy, whatever it is given. Okay, you need to see the units carefully. And upper bound could be considered as value plus half of accuracy. Okay, so you need to we are talking about length, and length is given as 2 centimeter, and it is rounded off to nearest integer. Integer means counting number 1 2 3, so nearest integer. And if we are talking about lower bound of this, so what is the half of one integer? Half of one integer is 0.5 integer. So 2 minus 0.5, that is going to be 1.50 centimeter. And similarly, upper bound is value plus half of accuracy. So 0.5 is the accuracy here. So upper bound we got as 2.50 or 2.5 centimeter. In the same fashion, width of the cuboid is, that is 4 centimeter. And what we are looking for, correct to nearest integer again. So lower bound could be found as 3.50 centimeter, and upper bound we have to add half of the accuracy. So upper bound is 4.50 centimeter. And the volume of the cuboid is given as 123.8 centimeter cube. So volume is given as 123.8 centimeter cube, and we have to look carefully now. It had been corrected to 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place means 0.1. And what is the half of 0.1? 0.05. You can use a calculator to do it half. Let us assume that 1 decimal place, that is 0.1 divided by 2. So what do we get here? 0.05. What do we need to do? 123.8, 123, because it is decimal, so you need to be very careful and use the calculator appropriately. 0.05 if you want to use the calculator, because this 123.8 could be considered as 123.80, and you are subtracting 0.05, it means you are gonna get 123.75. So 123.75 is the lower bound, and upper bound we have to add 123.80 plus 0.05, and you got 123.85. You can use the calculator where it is appropriate for you. Okay, in that sense we can solve the problem. Now what we are looking for exactly, find the lower bound of the height. So what is the formula here? Volume, length into breadth into height, and what we can use, it is considered as volume. What values we have? We do not have any height here. So we have length, breadth and height. What is the length value? Height could be considered as volume upon length is being multiplied here and breadth is being multiplied here. Now the question is very important to understand the concept here. I'll change the next pen. First of all, what we need? Volume is already given in the numerator and we are having L into B in the denominator. So the first thing, in the upper bound and lower bound terminology, if you are adding or multiplying, two things are together, we do the same thing here. Like if we are looking for lower bound of A plus B, then in addition what we do? Lower bound of A plus lower bound of B. But if you are looking at lower bound of A into B, for example, for multiply, we do the same things. Nothing extraordinary has to be done. Okay. So lower bound of B. But when we are doing the division and subtraction thing, we need to be very careful here. Subtract and divide. What do we do here? If we are looking at lower bound of A minus B, then we have to find the lower bound of A and subtract the opposite upper bound of B. Similarly, if we are dividing and we are looking for the division lower bound, then what we need to find? Lower bound of the numerator divided by upper bound of the denominator, that is B. So this is a fundamental you have to understand here. Okay. So now what we are looking for, we have numerator upon denominator. It means height. What we are looking for the height? We are looking for the lower bound. So we are looking for lower bound of height. If we are looking for lower bound, then it means the volume has to be found in the lower bound and this denominator has to be found in upper bound. Because in the division, numerator, if we are looking for lower bound, numerator should be lower and denominator should be upper. And first of all, we need to find the upper bound of L into B. So upper bound of L into B, it means upper bound of L and multiplied by upper bound of B. So what is upper bound of L here? That is 2.50. And what is the upper bound of breadth here? Yeah, width here. That is 4.5. So if we multiply these guys, so 2.5 multiplied by 4.5. And what we got here? We got here 11.25. So the upper bound here is 11.25. That is we got here. Okay. And lower bound of volume, here is the volume and lower bound is this, and that is 123.75. Okay. So let us divide it. So let us put in the calculator. We got 123.75 divide by 11.25. And what we got? We got 11 centimeter as answer. So that is the lower bound of the height of the cuboid, 11 centimeter. So this was the concept. You have to learn, remember this part. This is very, very important. If you understand this thing, you would be able to think out when to use upper bound in the numerator or when to use lower bound in the numerator or in the denominator. So that is all about this question. Let us see the next prop. There are 5 terms in a sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find the expression for the nth term. So first of all, we need to understand the pattern, what is happening here. So when the terms are increasing rapidly, here we are having 1, here we are having 216, then it is very much sure that it is going to be a geometric progression. Geometric progression means multiplication sequence. So what is being multiplied here? If you see carefully, 1 by 6, something had multiplied by 1 by 6 and we got 1. 1 multiplied by 6, we got 6. 6 multiplied by 6, we got 36 and further 6. So here the first term is 1 by 6 and the common ratio which is given as R, that is 6. The second number divided by the first number, 6 divided by 1, that is 6. This is the common ratio we got here. So we understood the pattern. This is a GP or multiplication or exponential ratio, whatever you say. So here the AN is given by A multiplied by R n minus 1. So what is the first term here? 1 by 6. And what is R here? 6 n minus 1. Whenever we have same kind of numbers, always try to write it in the same fashion. So 1 by 6 could be written as 6 power minus 1 multiplied by 6 n minus 1. So same base are multiplied, powers are going to be added. So 6 minus 1 plus n minus 1. So hence it comes out to be 6 power n minus 2. That is your general term or nth term of the sequence. If you want to check it out, if you look at the second term, if we put n equal to 2, n equal to 2, 2 minus 2, it comes out to be 6 raised to power 0 is 1. If you want to check it for the third term, put the n equal to 3, 3 minus 2 is 1, 6 power 1, that is 6. So it means our nth term is correct. And that is how we solve this problem. Let us see next. Okay, now this is an interesting problem. Two angles A and B are formed when two lines meet at a point. Two angles A and B are formed when two lines meet at a point. Okay, let us assume this A and this B. Two angle A and B, capital A, capital B. Okay, let us write it as capital A and capital B. Okay, let us find it out what the question says. Angle A is given by the equation this. 2 plus 3 tan A equals to minus 0.5. Find the two possible values of angle B. So first of all, find angle A, then we will relate where angle B can be located. Okay, let us see. So if you two angles A and B are formed when two lines meet at a point. So angle A and B can be like this. And if you see on the other side, angle A and angle B can be like this. Like either they are on a straight line. If they are on a straight line, so then A plus B equals to 180 degree. If they are not on a straight line, they would be vertical opposite angles. So when the cross is happening here, opposite angles, so then angle A equals to angle B. So if we find angle A, we can find the value of angle B as well. So let us solve the trigonometric equation here. So 2 plus 3 tan A equals to minus 0.5. 3 tan A equals to minus 0.5. And 2 is positive here, it will go and subtract there. So 3 tan A comes out to be minus 2.5 and tan A comes out to be minus 2.5 by 3. That is the first step, okay? This is the first step. Second step, you find inverse of positivity ratio. That is the second step. That is very, very important. Ignore the negative sign. So what are you going to do here? An inverse of 2.5 over 3. That is the thing you have to do here. So let us find it out. Tan inverse, tan inverse here it's tan inverse of 2.5 over 3. Okay, we got 39.805. 39.805. Let us take it as 39.81 degree. Okay, in any way, this is the angle we got. So consider this as angle alpha, or you can take any variable here. Now what we are looking for, we are looking for the possible values of angle A. So angle A can be lying between 0 and 360 degree. So this is the cross where we use generally all, sine, tan, cos. Some students, they learn it as add sugar to coffee. Some learn as after school to college. Add sugar to coffee after school to college. They start from here, A only. Here all positive. Here in this second quadrant, only sine terms is positive, tan is positive, and cos is positive. Now let us see the original T ratio here. So we have negative tan. Here tan is positive. Here all are positive. So negative tan is going to show here in this quadrant and in this quadrant. So our answer lies between 90 and 180, the first angle, and 270 and 360. So this is 360, this is 90, this is 180, and this is 270. Okay, so let us see. So we use this as the gate when we are entering in any of the quadrant. This as the gate, okay? This is very, very important. You need to remember. We can use this vertical gate also, but this is a bit complex. We always use this horizontal gate. So to go into the second quadrant, what we have to do? We have to go like this. So we have to subtract something from 180. What we have to subtract here? This thing. So angle A could be 180 minus 39.81, and let us calculate it. 180 minus 39.81, and this gives you 140.19. And the other angle could be because tan is negative in the fourth quadrant, so we have to go like this. So 360 minus something, minus 39.81. So 360 minus 39.81, and we got here 320.19 degree. So this is, sorry, angle A itself. So here we got both the possible values of angle A. Okay, let us see further. If one angle A is 140 degree, the second angle A value we got 320.19. So if you try to see here, 140 degree 0.19, this looks little appropriate here because this is a straight line. When the two lines intersect, they lie on a straight line or the vertically opposite angle. So it is 140.19. If these two are the cases, then 140 can be fit here. So we can find angle B. But if we take this, the second one, 320.19, 320.19 cannot be fitting here because on a straight line, the sum of the angles is 180. It means each of the angle is less than 180 degree. So this angle does not fit here in any case, in any circumstance. So this value we cannot take. So hence this value is rejected. This value cannot be taken. So we will be playing with this value only. So angle A is 140.19. Therefore, in this case, if the two lines are intersecting, angle A and B, they can be on the straight line. Angle A and B, they can be on the vertical line. So this value is rejected. So hence we are taking this value only. So angle A could be 180 degree minus, sorry, angle B is equals to, if we are taking this case, okay? So this case, A and B, then angle B is equal to 180 minus 140.19 degree. And let us take it as 180 minus 140.19 degree. And we got here 39.81, which could be written as 39.8 degree. In the second case, when B can be the vertically opposite angle, in this case, there is A, there is B. So hence A and B are vertically opposite angle, and vertically opposite angle are equal. Vertically opposite angles are equal. So hence what we could write as angle B is equals to angle A, that is 140.19 degree, and this could be written as 140.19 degree. We add here 1 and 2 degree, that could be consider as the possible values of angle B. So this is a point, till here most of the students could do it, but after that they used to get stuck here in this problem because it says that two lines meet at a point and angle A and B then formed. When two lines meet, so then angle A and B can be either on a straight line or they can be on the opposite side. So this angle had been rejected here. So this angle had been rejected, this angle had been taken. So in that sense, if they lie on a straight line, then 180 minus the first angle, we got the second angle. And if they are vertically opposite angle, then they have to equal. So first angle is 140.19, the second angle has to be 140.19. So that is how we solve this problem. If you have any query, you want to ask questions, you can comment in the comment box and I will try to reply or answer your query. Okay. Till then, I wish you all the best. God bless you all. Thank you.